I've always kind of used music as a time capsule to own a particular moment. I finished school in 2017, and when I was in school I only put out 2 songs, and I was really focused on getting the best grade possible, so I didn't really put out a lot of music or push the music I did put out. Lyrically, sonically, I was full, and I wanted to express myself in the best way I knew how to, which was by making music. I remember one of my colleagues, Tommy Day, I met up with him, and he was also making music but also doing it on the side, and he told me about this producer guy that he always worked with called Brian, and I was like, I'll take up a meeting with him just to see how things go. And that day with Brian, we were just supposed to meet and talk about possibly working together. It wasn't supposed to be an album, it was supposed to be an EP of a couple of songs, but what happened was, at the time I wrote Let Me In, what inspired Let Me In was like, I had been in a relationship for 2 years, and the relationship was ending as we were starting to make the album. So every time that we would meet up, I would be up like, I want to add just one more song, and then it would be like, okay. And then we ended up making a body of work that told a very specific story. If you listen to the album, we go through a bunch of different genres. Let Me In was pure R&B, Day Forever there was a little bit of swing on jazz, and we needed to EDM drop and colored in. We tried different sounds in old ways. We went for a little bit retro. In Turning On Your Own, we went for the trap sound. We fused it with some Afro sounds. In Those Days Are Gone, we do some Broadway inspired strings. In most songs, we do some Broadway inspired strings. All the things that have made my life musically, I was able to channel it through this album, which is why I'm most proud of the project, because I don't listen to just one type of music. I listen to a variety of sound. In my heart of hearts, the core of being Yoruba and the drums is also something that I take very personally. I really love, and we're able to incorporate all these sounds throughout the album. And just like this collage of sounds helped tell this very specific story, which I thought was very true to me. One of my favorite albums of all time is Adele's 21. And Adele's 21 is basically about how Adele, fell in love, and then love wasn't what she thought it was, and it ended with Someone Like You. But the way it ends in Someone Like You, in that her not ever fully getting over this person, and years after reminiscing back to that time in her life in a very wishful way, like she didn't move on. It never fully sat well with me, and so I wanted the album, the full body of work, to do that, to talk about what happens after you go through this entire experience and you move on, because it was a great time, but it has ended. I call it After Bells and Whistles because the bells to me signify cheerful life, church bells, wedding bells, good things like fairies and brightness, and whistles to me always come with urgency and stop, right? I wanted the bells to signify the good part of the relationship, and the whistles to signify the parts where everything started to become more urgent and came to an end. And then After Bells and Whistles, because what happens after the good and the bad, where do you end everything with? Really proud of it because sonically it's a kaleidoscope of ideas, and I can't wait to share the story with you guys. To start the story of the album by going back to 2013, because the first song of the album is called The Sound, which is the last song of my first EP, which I released in 2013, called Saved by the Sound. In 2013, my life was imploding. I was coming back to Nigeria after years of not being in Nigeria. Actually, I was very happy to be coming back home. I just felt very conflicted internally. But the only thing that I knew every day I wanted to do in 2013 was to make music. So I put every energy, knowledge I knew into creating the 7-song EP, Saved by the Sound. And it was very true for me because music was like my ultimate escape that year, and forever it has always been my ultimate escape, but that year especially. For the After Bells and Whistles album, it was tough. Logistically, it was tough. Financially, it was tough to make the songs. It was tough to record the song. There were days when I would leave work, go to the studio after work and take like my clothes for the next day, and so that I would bath in the studio in the morning, then go to work from the studio. I would get to the studio, if I finished work by like 10, I would get like to the studio at almost midnight, and Brian, God bless his soul, we would start what we could do, and then maybe NEPA would take light, and then I have to go and turn on the gen in the middle of the night. And there were days where like we would do all these things and then my voice would not be working because I would be so tired from the entire day. But I didn't feel any more alive than when I was doing all these things. Starting the album with the sound was important for me because it helped me connect the journey from the last time I made music with my whole entire being to this project. And let me in basically in the being the first real part of the story, the first bell. Let me is about letting someone in, asking someone if you can you let me in to this, into your world, so that we can make another world of our own. And then so from Let Me In, mirroring real life, we go into Day Forever, which is very upbeat, very bright, very colorful song about fighting for a relationship or fighting for your love against all odds. And the song has so much going on in it, in Day Forever. I wanted to make a song that to me felt representative of my love for old kind of music like swing and jazz, which I really love that. Then we go into Colored In, and Colored In for me, I written the chorus for Colored In 2012 or 2013, and I just like one of my favorite chorus I've written ever, but I didn't have a use for it. I didn't know how it would fit in, but it fit in the album in the sense that after you've let me in and we've now figured out we're going to this relationship, Colored In is like a moment in a relationship where everything's like just really, really like cool. Like there's no drama. Like relationship is not part of your everyday life. My friend Malls, I always wanted to work with him because he's such an amazing writer and vocalist, and he writes so quickly. And it was a struggle to be in the same state even at the same time. But he recorded his verse for Colored In the same day that Chris recorded his verse for Day Forever, the same day, and they both wrote their verses within minutes and recorded their verses within minutes, backup and everything. So great working with them, even though I didn't really work with them. I just like stepped out and they were done with their work. So from Colored In, we go into Old Ways. Is the end of the Bells part of the album, which is with the first real conflict. And I wrote Old Ways actually about myself in a way, and it took a while to write the verses. Not a while really, like I wrote the verses in the session, but I think the reason why I was changing words up and down is because I didn't want to attack myself. So there's actually a version of Old Ways that only Brian has in this world, because I mean it wasn't, the lyrics were kind of wordy, but like that one was more like and we didn't use it not because I was attacking myself, but we didn't use it because it didn't sound as good as what we have now. The pre-chorus was like the prettiest thing I'd written at that time, and I really loved it. And we went for this like Brian actually chose that direction for Old Ways, and it worked perfectly because I was thinking something else that was, now I think about it, really ghetto. And then we get into Mo's song, which is like an interlude of the album. I didn't think I was actually going to keep it on the album because it's such a vulnerable song. Yeah. But I was very determined to tell as honest as possible the entire story. So Mo's song is really just about, I think, knowing that everything's about to end, kind of, and just being like holding on to straws and trying to like, it's ending, but I still don't want it to end. I love you. And yeah, it's very like one of those like voice breaking songs, but like it was very much that. And then from Mo's song we go into Never Show It, which I got to work with this amazing vocalist. Her name is Tony on that. That was actually Tony's first time in the studio recording ever, and she just came in and we were there for like like 30 minutes and she was done, or less. I think the crux of Never Show It was now like when you are in a relationship with someone that is very strong and they're not used to being vulnerable, and you're not sure if they're receiving your love or you're receiving all the things you are doing, and it becomes a conflict because you're like, I'm not sure, you're saying it, you say this, but I don't see it. And Tony did such an amazing job in helping me complete that, because I really wanted it to be a duet, and it has this like 90s R&B vibe that I was into a lot of Bruno Mars's 24 Karat Gold album, especially Versace on the Floor, I think, and sonically that was what I wanted to capture in the song. I think we did a good job of even improving on that, because it wasn't just that. You can hear how we started with that but we went on to something else and something better. Then we have Sokon with Numbers. That's like my most successful song, and I think about how unlikely that was, because in my mind the song that was going to be like the song from the album was Day Forever. It was going to be like Day Forever, because Day Forever was like my masterpiece. It was long, had the voice notes in it, it had all these transitions. I like, Day Forever is the song. They're not ready. Every time I told they're not ready, I was talking about Day Forever. But when we first planned out the album back in January, when we were drawing the mood board for the album, the sound and everything, we always used to leave a line blank, and we called it Brian's song, and that was just to say that there would be a song that Brian would produce, and I would not write words, I would not have written the words for him. He would give me the beat and I'll write songs to the beat, because usually I write my words, my songs, then I don't usually write to a beat. It's not really something I've done. I've done it more in recent time, but I didn't really used to do that before. He sent it to me, and I was like, this is really out of my comfort zone. What am I supposed to do with this song? And the chorus I had was, literally the one I really want does not have me in mind, but it was so many words. It was like a lot. So I was like, maybe I should sing it in Yoruba and see what that sounded like. So I sent my friend Shay for me. I sent her a voice note of me saying it in Yoruba, like just saying it, and she was like, yeah, it sounds like this. And she like helped my enunciation a little. Like, okay, this is cool. For the longest time, I used to think that everybody knew what inspired the song. Like, I was just like really nervous. And then it was like until the listening party of the album, when everybody was singing the song, that I was like, oh wait, nobody knows what inspired this song. Because every time somebody would sing something, I'd be like, what do you know? I've received so much support from that song from people that I don't even know. But yeah, it's just a song that I think because it's relatable and simple to sing. And the SS2 line, we used to call it the SS2 song for the longest time. Then we got to Tony on Your Own, which Tony on Your Own I'd written for Malls. The sound for the song was inspired heavily by Bazzi's Mine and Bazzi's Beautiful, those two songs. I feel like on the album, there's a song that a lot of people respond the least to, but for me personally, it's like one of those songs that I can't believe I did not just keep it somewhere in the file somewhere. I can't believe I actually released it to the rest of the world. So it was very much a triumph for me in that way, and I really love the song. It's really vulnerable, but also it was a great way to like kind of just wrap up the whole The Souls thing. And the last song of the album, Those Days Are Gone, it's a great big ballad. My friend Beloved Moses helped me out with the second verse. He featured on it. I wanted to, like I said, with Adele's 21, right? The album ends on a very, not a conclusive note to me. I wanted to end with that very, like, it was great, it was a great run. I learned so much, I grew so much, but there are better things out there for the both of us, and it's going to be a great time for everyone. So that's basically the story of the album in a very long, winding form. But yeah, we got from that moment to this moment, and I think we did the story great justice.
Waiting you want, waiting you need, you're there right here, you're there with me. All the love it they search for, break back and track for. Now me hold them more, now me you need. So why you they break your own heart? Why you they let yourself down? You know I did it for you since we did SS2, but you no show me face. So máa free again. Ìfẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ gan, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn. Ìfẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ gan, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn. Fuck for me now, make every face make you talk to me now. Find out that they fuck for me now, make every face make you talk to me now. Find out that they fuck for me now, make every face make you talk to me now. Find out that they fuck for me now, make every face make you talk to me now. My guys they ask, what's wrong with me? Now you cause I'm old, now for you I bleed. I just stalk your page, oh, dream about your face, so then I wake up, oh, and the truth remains. Ìfẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ gan, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn. Ìfẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ gan, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn, kò fi mí sọ́kàn. Fuck for me now, make every face make you talk to me now.
I feel like as a creative, as someone who has the ability to make art, that it is such a big responsibility, because every story that we tell, every song that you hear that someone has made, good or bad, is a textbook about the life in general, especially that moment in time. I'm very grateful to God that I'm able to make music or make art in general. Making art does not come easy. It was very hard to do. Especially the last couple of days when the album had finally come out and we're releasing, and I was doing radio interviews and we're trying to pitch the album to blogs to carry, and we're trying to shoot the music video and do the release party. The day of the music video was one of the craziest days in my life. I had gone to the set of the video days before with the director, and we were just taking sample shots of different places in the park. We did what we were thinking in our minds were test shots. So I wish everybody to come to the park to watch the actual video, right? Cool. And then people were coming late. Album release party was that night, so I had designed this suit that I was going to wear for my album release party. This very, very it was beautiful. And so I had to go pick up my suit. And so I was like, okay, by the time I come back from picking up my suit, everybody will be here. I leave to go take my suit. It starts raining. And it wasn't, you know how sometimes rain starts from trickles and it's off the bat, was I got to the venue of where I was supposed to pick up my suit. The person had not arrived. They lied to me about the time they were going to get there. Then when they got there, they couldn't find me. So I was drenched, soaked, looking for this person. My phone battery was dying. So everything was just beautiful. It was just great. And I go back to the set of the video. It was still raining. I'm like, okay, time for us to go and get ready for the listening party. The test shot will have to be the shot. Then the suit. For lack of a better term, the suit, was not what I thought it would be on my body. And then it became this whole struggle of try this, where my friend David, God bless him, was such an anchor for me that because I was literally losing my mind. Thankfully, everything worked out in the end. Got to the set of the venue of the party, people were there, there was no music. Everybody like, guys, just calm down, just calm down. I honestly feel like this was like some people's weddings they feel like. I honestly felt like that. It was so chaotic, and I was sick throughout that whole period till I left the country. I was really sick. I was really stressed out. I was packing, getting ready to move to a new country, and trying to tie up all the loose ends I could possibly tie up here, doing interviews, pitching things to different organizations, trying to figure out what the music video was going to be. With the clips that we had, and it was very chaotic, but everything worked out. Whenever I look back at, I listen to the album, watch the video, I don't see what I'm sure what everybody else is seeing. I just see making magic happen out of struggle and literally against every single odd. And like now where I am with making art, I'm so excited about all the new stuff I have. And I'm so excited for everybody to hear it. Everything I'm doing now, like where I am with this album being a year. I can't believe the album has been a year. It just feels that out of a storm, something beautiful can come out. And out of struggle, you really can make beauty, which is why I'm so proud of it. I'm really excited for everybody to hear the new stuff that I have. New visuals, new sound, new everything. Happy birthday to the album. Thanks for listening and for watching.
I stay crying.